I'm Amelia Hamilton Morris, Chief Communications Officer for the City of Des Moines. Welcome to City Talk. The City of Des Moines Fire Department is the only all full-time fire department in the metro area. Our first guest today is Des Moines Fire Chief John DeKipp, who is here to tell us about the many services they provide. When most of us think about the police department, we think about the patrol cars that we see on the street every day. But the men and women in blue provide a wide range of services, from community policing to helping to shape the lives of young people across the city. Des Moines Police Chief Judy Bradshaw will be here to fill us in. It's all about public safety today, so we have some real news that you can use. Stay tuned. City Talk will be right back after these messages.
I'm Bill Stowe with the City of Des Moines Department of Public Works. You can recycle all of these items: newspapers and all inserts, mixed paper, which includes things like phone books, junk mail, cereal boxes, tissue boxes and magazines, tin and aluminum cans, empty aerosol cans, shredded paper, office paper, any kind of glass, wire hangers, broken down cardboard boxes, plastic margarine and yogurt containers, and plastic necked containers. Here in Des Moines, we believe that 50% of the volume of materials that you generate from your house can actually be recycled as opposed to landfill. So we've set that goal and hope that you'll help us to meet it in the year 2010. If you have any questions about the recycling program, need a blue container, please feel free to call us 24 hours a day at 283-4950. That's a 24-hour Department of Public Works number here in Des Moines. We're delighted to serve you with this program and look forward to your continued participation.
DMTV is on the move. Mediacom is upgrading their cable system to digital technology, and as part of that transition, DMTV will be moving to channel 86 and 97.1, depending on your TV's technology. Follow us on April 27th to our new home on channel 86 and 97.1, or watch us live online at www.dmgov.org.
Welcome back to City Talk. My first guest is Des Moines Fire Chief John DeKipp. John, welcome to the show.
It's good to be here, Amelia.
Well, we know that it's pretty cold outside, and my first question is about how you do your job in these cold temperatures. Does that present challenges for the fire department?
Amelia, the cold weather really presents a lot of challenges for the fire department. It also provides a lot of challenges for home safety and for being safe when we're out having a good time in the snowy, wintry weather. The challenges for the fire department, as you can expect, are directly related to the cold. When we fight fire with water. And whenever the temperature gets below zero or gets below freezing, we freeze up. And so keeping the water flowing, keeping the water supply mobile for us is really important. When firefighters are out there doing their work, the irony is that they're in a very hot environment putting out a fire. And while that's going on, the water on the trucks and on the grounds and even on the firefighters themselves is freezing and can even encapsulate a firefighter in ice.
Do you wear different gear for fighting fires in the winter than you do warmer seasons?
The gear that we wear essentially is the same year-round. What is different is what we wear underneath the firefighting gear that we have. But that's not really different than any person in Iowa would expect to go out in the winter weather. We wear sweatshirts and extra socks and things like that. But the firefighting equipment itself is exactly the same, hot or cold.
What about foam? Do you use foam maybe instead of so much water to fight the fire?
In the last few years, the apparatus that we've purchased, the fire trucks that you see, the engines that produce the water that puts out the fire, we've purchased those with compressed air foam systems, or a CAFS system, and it mixes a varying mixture of foam with water, and we find that it better coats and soaks into and extinguishes the fire.
Oh, that's wonderful. Also, I know that in front of my house there's a fire hydrant and there's lots of snow. What do you do about that if you happen to be on a street or we happen to have a lot of snow? How do you get to those hydrants?
Fire hydrants can be a real challenge for us. Last year, everyone remembers how much snow we had on the ground, and we regularly had to send fire crews out during the day when there was good light to try to locate the fire hydrants and literally shovel them out, or even use sledgehammers and axes to break ice up from them and get them cleared out. One way that residents can really help the fire department is if you have a fire hydrant that is in your front yard when you take care of your sidewalk or your driveway, please shovel around that fire hydrant. And if you could, please shovel 4 or 5 feet around that hydrant. When we need the water that's in there, a firefighter will come, take the caps off the hydrant, hook up a hose, and that hose runs to the street. So we like several feet around that hydrant to be clear. That really helps us do our job.
And not only does that help you and the fire team, but that also helps the homeowner and the citizens as well. So there's a double reward there by doing that, because that's how you save us, is use of those hydrants. Let's talk a little bit about some of the services that you provide. I know the fire department does fire inspections. Tell us about that.
Well, we have our inspection process really is twofold. We have a prevention section which does most of the permit-related inspections and hazardous materials kinds of inspections in the city, and their focus really is prevention of fire in the city of Des Moines, not only on the inspection side but on the building pre-plan side, to make sure that the things that we're constructing in our community are really built safe. On the other side, the company officers, the firefighters that you see in the stations, go out and do an inspection of businesses one time a year, and that inspection serves several purposes. One, it's to assist the business owner to understand some of the hazards that may be in their business and help them to correct them. The other purpose, it really allows our firefighters to be familiar with the kinds of buildings and the kinds of spaces and the kinds of operations that happen in businesses. So if there is an emergency there, whether it's a fire emergency or emergency medical or hazardous materials, we're familiar with the territory we're responding to.
Tell us a little bit about smoke detectors. I know recently there's been some changes in that, and most people have either smoke detectors or carbon monoxide or both in their homes.
Detectors are really important. If there's going to be an emergency in your home that's related to fire or carbon monoxide, chances are the way you're going to find out about that is either you're going to be there when the problem starts, or you're going to be alerted by an audible alarm from one of those detectors. Smoke detectors in the home should be purchased that are dual sense detectors. The common way of explaining it is the dual sensor detectors see and smell smoke, and they're also current with what the Iowa legislature has said that should be placed in the home. They do cost a little bit more than the single sense detectors, but they do a better job. The carbon monoxide detectors are not the same as the smoke detectors.
Okay.
They're going to alert you if you have a problem with a water heater or something else like that uses gas, and can alert you if there's a problem with how efficient that appliance is.
You know, I've always been curious, what's the rule of thumb of where you place those carbon monoxide detectors? I mean, they tell you, when you have a smoke detector, you should put one outside the bedrooms and in certain places. Is it the same for the carbon monoxide detector?
In my home, my carbon monoxide detector is down by my water heater and my furnace. Those are the appliances most likely to have a problem, and I want to know where that is as soon as possible.
Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the special teams. We all know that the fire department has firemen, but there are a lot of other teams with special skills. What are they?
The teams that the fire department has are not separate groups of people that don't fight fire. All of our firefighters are cross-trained to fight fire and to provide emergency medical service at the paramedic level. Now, those firefighters that are already dual trained also serve on teams. One of the teams is the hazardous materials team. They provide a lot of education and training to businesses and other response organizations. They also respond to hazardous materials spills of fluids or other kinds of materials, and we work with several counties and provide that service for them. Another team that we have is the water emergency team, and people are familiar with the boats and things that they do on the river. Their alter ego, especially at this time of year, is they're also the ice rescue team.
Oh, okay.
This is the opportunity where I certainly want to plug ice safety.
Okay.
The rivers and ponds are starting to freeze, and I want to encourage everyone to never go out onto ice unless that ice has been checked out by public safety personnel to be safe.
And that's true for those skating ponds we have in the parks, because there's a flag system that people need to look for at some of those. I think the flags are red saying don't go out, so you might look for those too, but you're especially true. I mean, people really underestimate the danger of ice on a lake like that.
And one of the dangers on the ice isn't the ice itself. During the summer, we can always see where the water ends and where the shore begins. During the wintertime, that's not as obvious. Snow may obscure where the ice begins, and it may cause there to be a thinner part of the ice. So really, know your system. Des Moines has an excellent Parks and Rec system. Go to the website and learn about what's available to you, and learn about those signals that they use to be safe, and you'll have a lot better time in the great city of Des Moines.
Okay. What about recruitment for 2011? Will the fire department be doing any recruitment this year?
The fire department will be doing a recruitment this year.
All right.
Yeah, we went through a tough process as a city budgetarily last time around, and we've rode through that, and we've maintained our level of service. During 2011 is a time where we'll be able to hire some more firefighters. That will probably happen, the application period for that will be in the first 2 months of the year. So not sure when this will air, but people should check the city's website for employment opportunities.
Okay.
And if you're ever interested in being a firefighter, we hope that you will check us out.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful. Our website for the City of Des Moines is www.dmgov.org. You want to go there, click on Departments, and then click on Fire.
Yes.
The other option would be to go to the Human Resources site. I'm sure that would be there as well.
For recruitment, the Human Resources site would be the primary one.
Okay. Well, we have a Firefighter of the Year for 2010. Can you tell us who that is and how that award comes about?
The Rotary is the primary sponsor of the Firefighter of the Year, and I'm not exactly sure when we started, but we're going on about 19 years, I believe, of having a Firefighter of the Year. Last year it was really special for me to be able to award the Firefighter of the Year to Engineer Mary Davis. Since receiving the award, that she's retired, but Mary was the first woman to ever be hired by the Des Moines Fire Department.
Wow.
And I had opportunity to work with her, and she's a special person, and she's been very involved in this community and surrounding communities, and she does a lot of charity work, and just was a real role model for every firefighter on the fire department.
Okay. Are there other awards or accomplishments for 2010 that you want to share with us about the fire department?
I think some of the big things that we achieved as a fire department really were internal. We set some goals to increase the level of training that we have to be better at our jobs, to better serve our community, especially during a tough economic time, and we achieved those goals. We're going to continue to build on those in 2011. A lot of the work that we did in 2010 is going to allow us to bring in those new recruits in 2011 and really get them started to a great career in a great way.
Just before we wrap up, let me ask one more question, since we're in this winter, in the heart of this winter season. What about our fireplaces? Are there certain precautions we need to be aware of during these winter months?
If you have a fireplace, you should get a hold of an approved fireplace mechanic, contractor. Have them inspect your fireplace. That's the best thing. Don't make assumptions about what's safe and what's not safe. Don't ever burn rubbish or debris in a fireplace. Only burn dried wood.
Okay. Well, that wraps up for the time we have for our interview, but I do want to ask, when citizens want more information about the recruitment, about the fire hydrants, or anything regarding the fire department, where should they go and who should they call?
People that want to know more about the fire department should go to the city's website, click on Departments, and click on Fire. For employment opportunities, go to the website, click on Departments and Human Resources. And our administrative number at the Des Moines Fire Department is 283-4237. And if you can't find it on the website, we will certainly help you find what you need.
All right. John, thank you very much for being our guest today.
You're welcome, Amelia.
Up next, we're going to have the city update, news from city government operations around the city. Here's Shekinah Young.
I'm Shekinah Young with this month's City Update. Your tax dollars are always at work, even in the colder months. In Ward 1, represented by Councilmember Hallie Grease, the Franklin Avenue Library, located at 5000 Franklin Avenue, is halfway completed with its new expansion. The building is nearly enclosed and site construction is wrapping up for the winter. The anticipated completion of the project is spring 2011. The project is funded by the Library Foundation, the City of Des Moines, and the State iJobs Grant Program. LEED certification of the Platinum level is pursued. LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. Energy savings features include both solar and thermal panels. In Ward 2, represented by Councilmember Bob Mahaffey, you can see the street intersection improvements at East 33rd Street and Easton Boulevard. This project includes widening Easton Boulevard west of East 33rd Street and reconstructing Easton Boulevard east of East 33rd Street. The improvements will provide a left turn lane on all four legs of the intersection. The project includes the construction of pavement widening, pavement reconstruction, traffic signals, sidewalks, driveways, subdrains, intakes, and surface restoration. The traffic signal systems will be replaced at the intersection of East 33rd and Easton Boulevard. In Ward 3, represented by Councilmember Christine Hensley, work on the Court Avenue kiosk on the downtown Riverwalk is underway. This project is located on the west side of the Des Moines River between Court Avenue and Walnut Street, from Grand Avenue north to the new pedestrian bridge. The work between Court Avenue and Walnut Street include a kiosk building and outdoor seating area for public use, a recreational trail, park amenities, landscaping, floodgates, and a stone veneer flood wall. The work north of Grand Avenue includes construction of a recreation trail along the Des Moines River and a new sidewalk with concrete pavers along 2nd Avenue to provide connections to the Center Street pedestrian bridge. The entire project is scheduled to be completed by the fall of 2011. In Ward 4, represented by Councilmember Brian Meyer, Walnut Street to Grand Avenue West Side project is underway. This includes a portion of the Riverwalk along the west bank of the Des Moines River from Walnut Street to Grand Avenue. This project features a 12-foot wide recreational trail for use by pedestrians, bicyclists, skaters, and other non-motorized uses. Construction is approximately 40% complete. The expected completion date is summer 2011. The City of Des Moines government offices will be closed Monday, January 17, 2011, in honor of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Regular business hours will resume Tuesday. Don't forget to come out and see your city government at work at one of the following meetings held at City Hall, located at 400 Robert D. Ray Drive. City Council will be meeting Monday, January 10th and Monday, January 24th at 4:30 p.m. There's council workshops scheduled for Monday, January 10th and the 24th at 7:30 a.m. The Zoning Board of Adjustment, January 26th at 1 p.m. Planning and Zoning Commission will meet January 20th at 6 p.m. And the Park Board will meet January 25th at 5 p.m. For more information, please contact the City of Des Moines Information Center at 515-283-4500. I'm Shekinah Young, and that's your City Update.
Thank you, Shekinah. For more information on city meetings, events, and services, visit the City of Des Moines website at www.dmgov.org. My next guest is Des Moines' first female police chief, and she started out as a cadet. Chief Judy Bradshaw, welcome to City Talk.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk about some of the exciting things that are going on in the department. You guys recently launched something a few months ago called Junior Explorers. Tell us about that.
Well, that's right. We, Amelia, we wanted to be able to reach out to some of our youth that were awful young, from the ages of 10 to 14 years old, and we started a Junior Explorer police program. Mm-hmm. And right now I know that it's associated with the Police Athletic League, and we have 115 youth that are participating in it across the city. And the 3 schools that this is offered in right now, the Explorer program, are Weeks, Harding, and Moulton Junior High. Mm-hmm. And the students meet once a month, and we have talked about topics such as how to investigate a crime scene, what to do during a traffic stop, why police officers do some of the things that they do. So, you know, the program is sort of modeled around a scouting approach, and that is to empower our young children and our youth to be responsible as youth, and then to grow into responsible adults. So the topics are wide-ranging. They talk about public safety, but they also talk about doing the right thing. And we are in partnership with Urban Dreams on this adventure. And it is an adventure because the kids, we weren't really sure if we were going to get 2 or 3 per school, but I'll tell you, 115 youth, and
that's a lot.
That's a lot, and it's growing because the kids are talking to each other about it, and the kids are able to do this right after school, and so we're excited about it. And at the end of it all, they're going to earn the right to have a Junior Explorer uniform, and they're going to grow into potentially a Police Explorer, and you have to be 14 years old to get into our Police Explorer program, and that takes it to a whole nother level. Mm-hmm. You begin to do things, shadowing a police officer. There is some weapons education and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. There is at this level too, but that's a little bit more involved. But we're excited about the Junior Explorer program because we think that if we can get to the youth when they're young enough,
yes,
we can have a positive influence on them. And if we can encourage our youth to consider law enforcement down the road and let them know that anybody can become a police officer if you put your mind to it. Mm-hmm. But you have to start out being responsible and accountable when you're young. And we think 10 years old to 14 is that perfect age to do that.
I agree. I think that's an excellent program, and it's an excellent way to put the information also in our community, because those kids will go back home and probably educate their parents.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea. However, the involvement of the police department with youth isn't new. You have a police athletic league that's been doing some things also, and they've been around a while.
They have. They were around back in the 70s and 80s, mm-hmm. and actually our Police Athletic League, or PAL, went away in the 90s due to budget cuts. And even though we've had budget reductions, I always try to be creative and try to either start new programs, on a shoestring, or continue programs on no budget. And that's really where we're at here. I've used resources that are committed to the neighborhoods in our community policing approach. Okay. And I have Officer John Saunders that is committed to the Police Athletic League. He has 154 youth that participate out on the east side. It is the East Side Boxing Club. He has 2 regular coaches that come in 3 times a week. We're located over at East 21st and Grand. Mm-hmm. And basically what the youth do is they come in after school. They have to do certain things in order to come into the club. Mm-hmm. And when they're in the club, they can work out. There's a treadmill. They can learn how to box if that's what they want to do, because it's sort of a boxing club as well. Mm-hmm. And the coaches will help coach them on how to train for boxing. But I also wanted it to be open more to girls, and girls tend not to want to be hit in the face.
No,
quite frankly.
No.
They're smart, and
not hit at all.
Not hit at all. So we don't have a lot of girls that participate in the boxing side of it. There's some, and good for them. But the Police Athletic League has also helped in sponsoring some programs during the summer months when the kids are out of school. And what we've done is we teamed up with Grandview soccer team, and we had the soccer coach and a lot of the soccer players from Grandview College come out and work with our youth and coach them for a day, and they put on a league, a training forum for them for the day. And we had a lot of youth that came out for that. Okay. We also sponsored through the PAL program youth that otherwise couldn't afford to go to a driving range or go out on a golf course. Mm-hmm. And we were able to load them up in some vans and take them out to the driving range and kind of teach them a little bit on how to hit the golf ball, and we provided the equipment. We also sponsored several youth this last summer to Drake University's football youth group. Okay. And that's a camp that normally a lot of kids just can't afford. I know. And so I wanted to sponsor more inner city youth who weren't able to afford this kind of training. Mm-hmm. And so we sponsored 4 last summer, and we're going to expand that. We want commitments from the community to help us sponsor youth and allow them the opportunity to go through Drake's football camp.
That is so wonderful, because not only are they participating in a program that gives them healthy workout, physical activity, which is good, but they're also learning so much more about our police department, about the whole idea of having a career and focusing on something, you know, which would be very rewarding for them. I'm just so happy that you guys are doing that, because particularly when you're working with inner city youth where their options are limited. You know, and they aren't exposed to a lot of career opportunities. So that's really wonderful. I've got a couple of other things here. Okay. Let's talk about calls for service. What's that been like for you for this year, or 2010?
For 2010, you know, on average, we've had about the same level as last year. We filled about 230,000 calls that come into our dispatch office. And we generate about 60,000 police reports a year from those calls for service. On average, for the city of Des Moines, we arrest about 10,000 people a year. Mm-hmm. So if you do the math between, you know, all that interaction, that's really not a whole lot of people going to jail. But enough. Those that are committing the crimes, we throw them in jail. And, you know, our clearance rates for violent crime, mm-hmm. and for burglary, for robbery, homicide are 20% above the national average. So one thing I can say about the Des Moines Police Department is we solve the crimes. Wow. You might read about the credit union or a bank that was robbed, but you're also going to read, you know, in the next week or day or two, that we made an arrest in that robbery or that homicide. We normally have 100% clearance rates for our violent crimes, like homicides.
That's outstanding.
It is outstanding.
And it also says that we have a really safe community.
We absolutely do. Crime's gone down. When I came on 30 years ago, we were at a rate of about 15 murders a year. Last year, we had 7. Wow. You know, you can't really tell sometimes from the media coverage, because it all blends together and there's so much coverage about any kind of crime. Yes. This year, we're at about 6 homicides. So we still have part of 2010 left to go, but we're on par for the levels of crime this year that we were at for last year, and crime overall has dropped.
Let's talk just a little bit about highlights for the year, for the department in general.
You know, I always recognize outstanding performance in the department, and for this year I presented 26 commendations, which are the chief of police's accommodations for extraordinary work. I presented 2 life-saving awards to officers that saved actually another police officer's life. Mm-hmm. He was on the job, he suffered from a heart attack, and the 2 officers that responded didn't know that they were going to a fellow officer that was down. Wow. Because the call that came in, nobody had told the dispatchers, this is a police officer in uniform that's having a heart attack. Those 2 officers responded, they got there in time and did CPR and did life-saving measures and saved his life. And he's now recovering. He actually retired, and he's doing really, really well. So, you know, I also want to thank all my officers that have served in the military.
Yes, we've had a lot.
We've had a lot. We've had several that are, at any given time within our department, we have anywhere from 4 to 6 officers that are on active duty. They get deployed for the year. Some are on their 3rd deployments. And that's a huge sacrifice that they're making, not only for the city of Des Moines, but for our whole country.
Yeah, and their families.
And their families. That's time away from their families that they cannot get back. And so I want to thank my officers that serve in the military. They've done an awesome job. We recognize them when they return from their service.
Good.
And
good.
And just tell them thank you for their commitment.
Well, we have just about 60 seconds. I can see the time over there. But you also had a policeman or police officer of the year for 2010.
We do.
Who was that?
That is Senior Police Officer Jerry Lovejoy. And, the Rotary Club does a great job every year of recognizing, a public safety officer from the police and a firefighter as well. And this is a special award because they have to be nominated by their peers. So their peers make the nominations, and we set up a committee of peers and supervisors, and Jerry was awarded that. He has a talent, a real skill for finding stolen cars, and there's a lot of them in the city. And you may not think it's a big deal, but if it's your car, it's a big deal. I know.
I've had one, not here in Des Moines, but I've had one, and the town I lived in, I won't mention, but they just said, "Oh, it's a hot car. Well, you're not going to find it."
Did they find it?
No.
Okay,
Well, I don't think they looked.
We normally find them. And Jerry has this knack for memorizing the VIN number on cars.
Wow.
And because a lot of people will take the plates off and they'll monkey around when a car's stolen, but it's really hard to destroy or tamper with that VIN number. Jerry's just got a knack he's a digger, he's a very professional officer. He's seasoned. He's been on for, I think, close to 20 years on the department, so we're really proud of him.
Wow.
He deserves
Well,
it.
congratulations. That's a wonderful award, and especially when you're nominated by your peers. Before we wrap up, can you tell us where citizens can get more information about the services and programs in the police department? And it's not by dialing 911.
No, it's not. You can start with my office.
Okay.
And my phone number is 283-4800, 283-4800, and the call will be answered during regular business hours. Mm-hmm. And if we don't have the answer, we'll find the answer and we'll get back to you or direct you to the right number.
And they also can go to the city's webpage by going to www.dmgov.org, click on departments, and then police. And their page is just full of information. You have one of the better web pages too. I think it's really cool.
We do. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Chief, for being our guest today. We appreciate it. Just a wealth of information. That wraps up this edition of City Talk. I hope you will join us again here on DMTV City Cable Channel. Every month, we will visit with a different city department and bring you new information about our community. Today's program can be seen again during the replays on the dates and times listed on your television screen. You can also watch us online. Just go to www.dmgov.org and click on Watch Live. Don't forget that DMTV is now in the Mediacom digital lineup, and you will find us on digital channels 86 and 97-1. For more information, visit the website. I'm Amelia Hamilton Morris. Thank you for watching.